Hey everybody, my name's Jeff and I'm gonna hike the PCT this year 2023 starting first steps on the trail May 12th. I'm with my lovely wife Carol, who's holding the camera today because I forgot my GoPro mount. And it's snowing here in Central Oregon, and it's also a record snow year in the Sierra this year, and so that's caused a few gear changes and concerns, but I have that late start date, so that's going to help. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I'm going to bring on the trip. Some people are curious, and I'm going to show you how I pack that. Okay, so I just let that take the shape of the bottom of the bag. Now you really want to raise all the heavy stuff up to like the level of your navel. That's where your center of mass is. So I'll just close that bag down, stuff it down in there. The next thing I put in is my sleeping pad. This is the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite pad. This is the new one that doesn't make so much crinkly noise. Sleep is going to be so important that I wanted to have the quieter pad. I didn't cover my backpack. This is a Waymark through 40 backpack, super light, made in Utah. Side pockets for water. This sort of huge Lycra pocket in the back. Just one simple chamber in the middle. It's a frameless pack, and so I like to use my sleeping pad. I don't put it in a stuff sack or anything. I like to use my sleeping pad as like a little back pad for this pack. So I usually stuff it in there before I put the sleeping bag in, but just kind of let that go down to the bottom, and I just kind of let that sit in there as I pack around it. Next thing is going to be my tent. The tent is the Gossamer Gear, the One tent. I'm not going to undo it. I'll put up a link to the tent so you can see how it's set up. This is a one-person, two trekking pole tent. The tent itself weighs about 17 ounces, and I like to keep it. I really don't roll my tent up. I don't like to have it folded the same way every time I put it away. Just to avoid sort of recreasing the same locations on the tent all the time. So I put them inside this, Hyperlight Mountain Gear DCF bag, and just keep it really flat, and that goes in, and it just doesn't take up very much room at all. Sort of like that. Okay, so next would be the heavier stuff, and that's going to be probably my food bag. I have my food bag set up right now just with enough food to get me from the southern terminus to Mount Laguna, where I'll resupply. So just a minimal amount of food in there. I do take a couple luxury items when I backpack. One is this. I use a Jetboil stove. This is a model that's not made anymore. It's a little mini titanium stove, not much bigger than say a 500 or 600 milliliter Tokes pot. The fuel canister goes inside there when I have one, and I just keep that inside the food bag. I like to take a bowl because I like to make and eat my own oatmeal. And that's, these are bowls that I ate out of when I was a little kid, and we still have them. Pretty lightweight, super durable. And I also like to, we make our own hot cocoa mix that with water, and I really got to have a hot drink every morning, so I take a little Starbucks cup. It doesn't really weigh very much. I think it's an illusion that it takes up a lot of weight. As long as you have it filled with other things, it's really just more or less a flat piece of plastic. I have a little rucksack and a hang kit for this bag. I'm in the habit of hanging my food every night when I can, or using a bare barrel. This year I'm going to try this little Knock food bag. Very often I will eat like a half of a freeze-dried meal, and so I wanted to give this a try. I'll be ready to ditch this if I feel like it's too much weight, but thought I'd give that a try. It's nice to be able to open a freeze-dried packet, pour half out into this, hydrate it, eat it, and then eat the rest the second night. So give that a try. I might also find that I could replace my bowl with this for oatmeal in the morning. So that's pretty much, you know, aside from food itself, what I've got in my food bag. And so that would go in pretty much next. Heavier stuff. So next is clothes. Sort of coincidentally, I have on about half of what I'm wearing. Carol and I skied today, so we had a nice day already. A couple other luxury things. I really like to, you know, you're not supposed to bring cotton, but I love to sleep in cotton. So I take the lightest t-shirt I have, some cotton underwear. Just makes me more comfortable at night. I have a lightweight pair of pants, Patagonia shorts. I'll bring one pair of nylon underwear. My socks, I'll have 2 pairs of these. I love these socks. I've never found socks like this before. These are Silverlight socks. They're merino wool, and they're interwoven with silver fiber, and that keeps them, makes them antibacterial, so they don't come to you when they call them after 3 days of wear. They're fitted socks, so there's one for each foot, and in case you forget, the left one says venture and the right one says out. Venture out. Can't say enough good things about these socks, so I'll have 2 pairs of these socks all the time, and I have a little wool hat. So, and then what I have on is my I have a Patagonia Capilene hoodie, this gray hoodie, which is going to be my sun protection in the desert, and just love this thing. And then I have this Patagonia sort of knit hoodie that goes over, and that's got a super cool hood on it. It's very, very warm in the wintertime, or when it's cold. So I'll use that, and then I've got my Patagonia synthetic jacket with the hood. Okay, and so I keep my clothes in another one of these Hyperlight Mountain Gear bags, just to try to keep everything a little more dry in case getting some wet weather. These things are nice because they take the shape of the pack. They pack nicely. Out of the way. In there. Okay. So let's do electronics. I'm going to try to film the whole trip on the GoPro Hero 11 that Carol's holding, and so I have a fairly heavy electronic outfit. I'm carrying a Spot X tracker and a texting device, satellite device, emergency beacon, and I'll carry that up front in this little strap pocket. It fits nicely in there, and it's there when I need it. Other electronics, I have my iPhone 4. Is this a 13 or a 14? Anyway,
13.
It's a 13, I think. I've got, I'm going to have a total of 4 batteries for the GoPro. This is their little charging cradle that I can charge up in towns or on the trail. I have my Nightcore rechargeable headlamp, super light. I have an SD card reader for my phone. I have all my charging cables and a very fast Anchor charger. So this should allow me to, one of my goals in getting this is a little bit heavier than a lot of chargers, but I think it'll keep me from the town vortices, help me to get charged and get out of town quicker. I have a lens cleaning cloth for my glasses. In here I carry some repair patches for various things, tents and other things, thermarest patches. I made myself a little splint kit out of a piece of aluminum can for my trekking poles. I'll get to why that is later. And for charging, I have a 20,000 milliamp hour Nightcore battery. Again, a little bit heavier, but I don't think I'll be running out of power over, say, a week's stretch. Charging my headlamp, GoPro batteries, phone, all that stuff. So that's all my electronic stuff. I carry it in this bag. The nice thing about these little bags, these little dry bags, are pretty light, but you can also do a little bit of laundry in these. I carry some soap, which I'll show you in a minute, and you can fill these up with a little bit of creek water, get away from the creek, and you can wash some socks or underwear, shirt, whatever you want. So those just roll up like all dry bags do. Just throw that in there. Next I have my same bag, but now it's toiletries. I keep a little massage ball to roll out any muscle pains, especially plantar fasciitis type pains on the bottom of my foot. A little half of microfiber towel, both to clean myself off, dry things off, and also to dry condensation from inside my single wall tent. That happens. I have little mailing label paper with Leukotape on it. So big fan of Leukotape for blisters. I have another blister and Band-Aid kit, some ibuprofen, bug net. Won't need that for a while. I'm loving these things. They're little porta wipes. They're taking the place of wet wipes. So these hydrate in a matter of about a minute. They blow up into big cloths that can be used to clean up at night. I use regular toothpaste. I use these little finger toothbrushes that you get every time you order something from Garage Grown Gear, which is a great little company. I put a little bit of Body Glide in a tube, in a little bottle like this to lighten it up. I have a little pair of scissors that I can trim my toenails with, and open packages and things like that. I decided not to carry a knife. Just don't use them that much. There's various other things in here I may or may not carry. Some sunscreen for sure. I have some antifungal stuff and a little bit of dental floss. And that's pretty much what'll keep me alive, I think, for toiletries. Okay, so that dry bag goes in there. That'll get hung at night, by the way. That's all the non-food stuff that smells like food to critters, so that'll get hung at night. That should go in there. A pair of nylon underwear I forgot to put in. This is my Tyvek ground cloth for my tent. It's cut out in the exact footprint of my tent, so it's not collecting water and funneling it under the tent. I keep this on top because, particularly in the desert, and there may be hours at a time, hours at a stretch where I might just be wanting to sit on the ground and wait out the heat of the day, so I can use that guy for that. I have my Sea to Summit inflatable pillow, which is a nice thing to have. Good night's sleep, so important. I have Patagonia. This is actually their fishing, fly fishing rain jacket. It's the lightest rain jacket Patagonia sells. I love Patagonia stuff, and I like this rain jacket. It doesn't have any pit zips, but it's very, very lightweight material, so I tend not to get too hot in it. And as an extra layer over a jacket like this, it really makes me pretty warm when it gets cold. Be a good windbreaker in windy situations too. Typically I'll keep that out in a pocket out here. Okay, pants I forgot to put back. Let's see, water. So everything I need for water is in here. My intention is to have either 6 or 8 liters of capacity, probably just 6, but I begin with a Sawyer squeeze filter that I've used for quite a few, 3 years now. I take one of the old Sawyer squeeze bags and I just cut it down as a scoop, just in case I get to a water source that's just scant, and I may have to just use that to scoop water out. I use a knock bag or C-knock bag to collect water in, so all my dirty water goes into this bag and goes in the top. That gets sealed up like this. I put my filter onto the bottom of that and then squeeze the water through into water bottles, or for spare water I have a 2-liter platypus. So with the knock, this, and 2 water bottles, which I have in here, that gives me 6 liters of capacity. I may take another platypus, I'm not sure yet, or another smaller water bottle. I keep a few extra caps, things like that in here. The most important thing I have in here is my coupler that couples the Sawyer filter onto these, any sort of water holder that I have. So I just put the water filter onto there, the squeeze bag onto there, and squeeze in. This is nice for gravity filtering too. I keep a old piece of fishing line I found a long time ago on here, and I can fill up at camp and just let this gravity feed too while I set up a tent or something. So, and that seems to work pretty well. So that stuff I keep all on the outside of the pack. Okay. And the first thing I usually put on the outside of my pack is my tent stakes. I keep enough tent stakes to like thoroughly stake out my tent. I'm a little bit concerned about wind in the desert, and I like to have the bathtub of my tent staked out as well as the 4 corners. So carry a little bit of extra weight there, but I'm always happy to have it staked out nicely. So I put those way down at the bottom and the front so they just can't puncture anything that's important. Next goes my water, filtration stuff, and then I have to have a poop kit. So my poop kit consists of a little bit of TP. I guess right now I have a lot of TP in there. I have a Deuce of Spades trowel, super lightweight trowel, cuts roots really well. And I keep in here my soap. I have some powdered soap that I got from Garage Girl Gear. And I prefer soap to hand sanitizer. I think there's really nothing that soap can't do that hand sanitizer does. Also this year I'm going to try a backcountry bidet. I'm still kind of working out the kinks on that. I have some other ideas, but the idea of not using toilet paper is appealing. And along those same lines, I always carry a bag, which I don't have in here right now, an empty bag to pack out my toilet paper. So dig a hole, do the business, wash hands, pack out toilet paper.
Not in that order.
What's that?
Not in that order.
Not in that order. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so that goes in the front as well. What else do we have? I generally have a pack cover for this. I like having a pack cover because there are things in this Lycra pocket I may not want to get wet in a heavy rain, and so I have a pack cover. I don't have it with me right now. One of the things I'm going to try is I have this pump sack for my air mattress. And these are super nice, but I have this idea, and I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to cut this valve out of this bag, and I'm going to tape it using repair tape into my pack cover. And I'm hoping that I can dual purpose my pack cover to be an inflation sack. And then the other thing is, if I have that the valve on the bottom of my pack cover, it acts as a weep hole so that if water does get inside there, it can drain out through that valve. That's my theory. Just a couple of things left. I have this 1/8 inch Gossamer gear pad. It's rolled up right now. It can go along the side or on the top. I probably will just fold it up and put it in the bag. This is super nice for a couple reasons. There's just no weight penalty for it. It's a nice layer between my sleeping pad and the tent, so it keeps my sleeping pad from moving around. It's a good sit pad, double it up, and I can also that's all I can think. Oh, it's for like a siesta in the desert when it's hot. So have that. Put the rain jacket in there now. I have 2 smart water bottles, so that's my other water capacity. I like to have these rubber bands on here. This was just an accident, but I put these rubber bands on here one day, and I noticed that when I have these water bottles inside this pocket, those rubber bands tend to keep them in there. So I haven't ever had a problem with them falling out, but still a little bit of peace of mind. You never know when you're going to need a rubber band, and that keeps the water bottle from popping out. I have a little lightweight wallet that'll carry my cards and cash in. I turned an age this year that I never thought I would get to, and it means I pee a lot in the night. So this is my pee bottle. It's one of my other luxury items. Had that for a long time. I have a mount for the GoPro that doubles as a tripod and also an extendable, if I can do it, an extendable mount so I can talk to you guys on the trail. Okay, and so that's normally, I have to work this out, but that's normally going to reside right here on my pack strap with the camera mounted there, so I can film hands-free, or I can pull it out and film when I want to. My phone generally goes in, I use the Far Out app for navigation, and my phone generally goes in this front pocket, just like that. Let's see, I carry a little bandana because I tend to sweat a lot, and I would just tie it onto here so that I can have something to wipe that off with as I go along. Let's see, one thing I didn't show in my food bag is I have an op sack, which is an odor-proof Ziploc bag. Just kind of a little bit of extra protection from critters at night prowling into your food. So, grab them later. I have, for the desert section, I have a sun umbrella, which I think I'm going to enjoy having. You know, I think you can reduce the temperature on your body by 5 degrees or so Fahrenheit just by blocking the direct sun, and then not to mention the benefit of having the direct sun off your skin, so that's good. And I'll probably use these little ties that I found to wrap around my strap and try to figure out a way to hold that hands-free. So super lightweight umbrella. This was I can't remember who this is from. 6 Moon Designs. Let's see, I think the last thing is my trekking poles. These are the Gossamer Gear trekking poles. These are super lightweight, but the consequence of that is that they're also very, I think they're prone to breaking should I, get them wedged in a crack or something like that. Good news there is I tend not to use trekking poles very much when I'm going uphill or on level ground. I just try to stay away from them, and I use them more really just to protect my knees going downhill. So I sort of use them out in front of me with my hands on top, almost like a spider, a four-legged spider walking down a hill. And in that compression mode, they tend not to get a lot of torque and break. I do have a spares box that I'll be shipping along with me, and I have an extra pole in there. And then I have my little pole splint. And the reason I made that splint is because this is all just carbon fiber. They aren't tough poles, but they are very lightweight. So that's good. So most of the time, those are gonna fit right in here on the side of the pack. And I'll take them out as needed. So this pack is, there's still a lot of room in there. It's a nice roll top pack. The fabric is pretty water resistant nylon, but like I say, I still have a pack cover, which I've gotten a lot of use out of. This pack has a Y strap to carry a bear barrel on top. This pack doesn't have enough room to fit a bear barrel. I have a BV5000 inside, so that'll have to cinch up top. I think that's it. So that's everything. My base weight without any consumables is around 8.5 pounds, I think. Bye everybody.